What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Kevin Svenson here. Just wanted to come to you with a video today discussing the correlation between Bitcoin and the traditional markets. Here we have the S&P 500 pulled up. We are on the daily chart right now, looking at it from about March of 2017 to where we are now. So a lot of people have been talking about this correlation, but not recently. Recently, I actually haven't seen anybody really talking about this correlation. And I think it's important for us to keep up with this because there is a clear correlation between traditional markets and Bitcoin. I'll just take a vertical line here and just drop the vertical line on all of our price dips for Bitcoin. I guess we just mark up, we can just throw it here. So like all of our major dips, right? A clear correlation, right? There's obviously something going on here. So what's interesting to see is at this level right here, I guess we can just mark this up, this pink line. We had the traditional markets decided to start selling off, right? Things started to get a little bit unstable here, and Bitcoin followed right after, right? Right when the traditional market started to top out, started to pull back, Bitcoin then had its sell off here, November 18th, right? And now Bitcoin found its low. We had a 50% drop. Bitcoin bounced off of that, which I think is normal, right? You could say that there was an inverse correlation here, but it's still, you can still see the correlation. Bitcoin had a 50% drop and a bounce back, normal reaction right there for the market. And we started pulling back a little bit, and now we're sort of, just going with the traditional markets once again, right? Traditional markets had a little bit of a pullback here, February 19th. Bitcoin found its double bottom and is now bouncing up with the traditional market. So guys, there is definitely a correlation here between these two. I mean, clearly, there's not really, you can't really dispute it. I mean, unless you just want to say it's one giant coincidence. But, it's clear, guys. And what we need to do now is use this to our advantage, right? Let's keep an eye on the traditional markets and see what happens here, right? If we get a major pullback, Bitcoin will probably pull back. If we start breaking out all-time highs for traditional markets, Bitcoin will probably retest probably about like 4,400, 4,800 is what I would assume Bitcoin would be retesting in that event, right? If traditional markets did have a breakout here, retesting all-time highs, we could probably see Bitcoin retesting this area right here, this cluster of resistance right in here, Price could just be bouncing up into this channel and playing here for a bit if we do see traditional markets start to push out of here. So if the traditional markets start pulling back again to, like this support area right here, you'd probably see Bitcoin also retesting its support, most likely. This is just an example of what could happen. And if the traditional markets do break down here, coming into like April, May, then you'll probably see Bitcoin dropping as well, right? With the market here retesting our lower channels right here, right? Most likely pulling into our lower channels and testing this range as the traditional markets might be finding a new low as well, right? So this is the kind of correlation, it's kind of stuff you need to be looking out for, right? So I think we need to keep an eye on this correlation, guys, because this correlation is in play for sure. Absolutely, right? And a lot of the times it seems like, even though Bitcoin did top out here before the traditional markets, other than that particular instance, it does seem like the traditional markets tend to make their move first and Bitcoin follows after. But you can't rely on that, right? But overall, there is just a general correlation going on here, and Bitcoin seems to be moving together with traditional markets. When Bitcoin first started emerging, it wasn't really that closely tied. Like, it wasn't correlating all that much because, Bitcoin was new. But now that we're here, now that Bitcoin is pretty well established, there's definitely a correlation here. And we should definitely keep an eye on this because Bitcoin is correlating with traditional markets, not against it. Not against it, guys. As much as we want Bitcoin to be a hedge against traditional markets, that's simply not the case right now, and we will probably continue to get a correlation here, right? So, guys, just thought I'd bring this up to you guys to show you guys the correlation here, and that we should be keeping an eye on this. Traditional markets can give us a pretty good idea of what Bitcoin might be doing in the future, or in the near term, rather. But yeah, guys, all right. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, and I will see you all in the next video.